Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay. This time it's game number 7 in the clan war between NoN Esports and Team Awesome Gamers. We have in the NoN corner, wearing the purple trunks, is forsakeNXE, our purple Terran Masters level on the EU server, and we also have from Team Awesome Gamers our gold Protoss, Barca, also a Masters level European player. So this is great. I didn't realize that every single player in both of these clans were Masters level, because I mean the games have been very close. They're very competent. They're very closely matched. This is actually a really good series. I have been enjoying it immensely. We are on Iron Fortress. It is a PvT, which is pretty cool. I mean, like I said, we've had a really good mix of races, I guess would be the good term for it. We've had plenty of Terran, plenty of Zerg, and then we've had 2 Protosses at the very end. So yeah, pretty neat. Pretty neat. And Forsaken showed us how he deals with Protoss just in the previous game, because he was against a Protoss player. We had some really good drop play, a lot of stuff that was just constantly jerking around on either side of the map. He just barely got that snipe for that third Nexus, and managed to squeak out the win, even though his opponent was being very aggressive too. So yeah, I liked that game. We'll see exactly what's going on here. It looks like the barracks and the refinery going down pretty much right on top of each other. Maybe he's going to be opening with that Reaper again. Maybe the refinery was early enough that he'll have enough gas to actually transition into a factory. I think it's more likely that we'll see the Reaper, but you never know. You never know. So we're going to wait and see. It's going to be fun. Simulator also going down with that gateway, so a very typical opening for Barca 2, not throwing any shenanigans out there. I mean, this is the ace match. This is all or nothing. I feel like both players are going to be playing very typical, very safe. 50 refinery gas, so yeah, there goes that Reaper. Fantastic. Yep, really good polish. This is what I'm talking about whenever I'm saying that there's nice polish. When you get up to like the Masters level gameplay, it's exactly what your build is. You're beginning to refine your build, and this is just the level of polish where the refinery has just enough gas right whenever the barracks finishes to get the unit out that you want, and then you also have just enough minerals to start up on your orbital command right whenever that barracks finishes. Super cool. Very nice play. Cybernetics core also going down just to the left side of that assimilator. I like that wall off main so that run-bys are going to be very difficult. Obviously, it's very difficult for the Reaper to abuse this sort of terrain in order to get in there, but typically you'll see the Reaper come in from the south side, move along to the back side of the minerals, and then have his retreat completely blocked off, and that's a nice way to get an early kill, especially with that mothership core coming out. SCV is probably going to be doing just a little bit of frisky business, maybe going for an eBay block, maybe not, just gonna have to get out of dodge once that mothership core does get out there, and he is succeeding. I mean, look at that, it's 100 extra minerals that Barca hasn't been able to spend. There goes the Nexus, there goes the SCV, and maybe there goes this Pro, but he's going to be taking a little bit of damage. But remember, the mothership core is within the area, and even though she does just a little bit of damage, Forsaken has to be careful not to lose this guy. Oh wow, that would have been brutal. We saw in the previous game that Forsaken was definitely using that Reaper to his advantage, actually scouting out what his opponent was doing, and really, knowing exactly what he could get away with. Single Zealot's going to be making his way into the mineral line, but with 2 Marines popping out, that's going to be taken care of in short order. Where did that Reaper go? Go home? Yeah, he went all the way home. Maybe to help out with that Zealot, maybe just to ensure that he's going to survive, because that mothership core could be feeling frisky, could start hunting him down, and it does take a little bit of time for him to actually heal up. And we saw how quickly the mothership core actually dealt with the Reaper. Only 1 SCV does go down to that Zealot, but that's still pretty good. I mean, he got a very solid scout off. He saw exactly what the refinery was doing. He delayed that CC, which was being constructed. Bunker going down on the low ground. Again, both players playing very safe. They realize that this is the ace match. Ooh, I say very safe, but then he throws that a third Nexus. That's pretty ballsy. That's very ballsy, especially because it's in a very typical location. I mean, maybe if it was like a hidden Nexus, I could understand it. But all things considered, with that Reaper still out and about, Forsaken's going to have no problem at all scouting this, as long as he actually, no, he doesn't even rendezvous over there. So maybe this is going to, maybe this is going to pay out. Maybe this is actually a risk that's worth taking. We'll see, because this could be world ending for Forsaken if he gets behind, economically speaking. That could be pretty brutal. Oh, speaking of being brutal, that Reaper does go down. This is a major pickup for Barca, because now, Forsaken has no idea what's going on with this Nexus. He has no idea that Nexus exists. He is moving out with a handful of Marines, but there's already 1 sentry out on the field accumulating energy. Worst case scenario, he'll just pull up to the top side and throw down a force field. Mothership will be able to throw down a Nexus, photon overcharge on the Nexus. I don't see this doing game-ending damage. However, he could definitely score a major blow to the economy. I mean, these probes are going to have to run right by those Marines in order to get out. And so, that could be a significant setback. Here they go. Will he get the snipe on the Mothership core? No, opting for the sentries instead. Oh, wow. Look at that, bypassing the sentry. No force field on the wall. So that sentry completely melted. This is absolutely brutal. The first Immortal out on the field right now is going to be doing quite a lot of damage to those Marines. Going to clean this up pretty nicely. However, the Mothership core does go down, as well as a handful of the workers. 7 workers killed completely. 3 more Marines kind of stutter stepping their way through the mineral line. The Immortal is trying to follow behind them, but this is actually proving to be a lot more damaging than I expected it to be. That snipe, where those Marines just kind of waltzed in here and electing not to take down the Mothership core, rather take down that sentry. The sentry, missing that incredibly important force field right here on the ramp. That is just brutal. Oh man, that's really bad. 33 over 37 right now. But remember, this third Nexus is up. But now, instead of having an economic advantage like you would expect Barca to have because he's got that third Nexus, he's actually pretty much on even footing because Forsaken has 2 orbital commands. He's got a fully saturated main and natural, and his sort of timing attack is still on. I mean, he's working on that combat shield. Does he have stem already? He does. Stem is done. +1 on the way. He's going to be able to hit that 11-minute timing attack, no problem at all. And now he's just going to have an additional target for him to hit. This isn't really affording an advantage for Barca right now. It's really just making so he's on even footing. I guess he would have rebounded by now. Yeah, 48 over 36 harvesters. So yeah, he's right back in the game. I mean, the third Nexus cannot be stopped. That is a absolutely massive economic advantage. 70 over 70 supply, pretty much neck and neck. First Colossus on the way. It looks like it's going to be popping out just in the nick of time to hold back Forsaken. Won't be able to move into the main, I bet. I mean, 2 Immortals is a lot of meat, but you never know. I didn't expect it to be able to move into the main last time. How many? He's only got 1 gateway. Wow. Barca once again playing kind of greedy. Forsaken not realizing that there's another Nexus on top of this hill because he is choosing to push down into the main. Another Mothership core is out. Not enough energy for another photon cannon. Nexus overcharge, rather. Photon overcharge. Wow, I got that wrong like 4 times. The Marines do move in. There goes the overcharge just in the nick of time, I guess. Yeah, only 3 energy. That's exactly what happened. There goes the hot pickup. Will he have the nice pickoff of the Colossus? No. It looks like the Marines just kind of come out too few Marines popping out at the same time. And look at that really great unit control from Barca, keeping every single one of his Immortals alive, as well as that Colossus. This completely rebuffed aggression from Forsaken. This really needed to work. I mean, this really needed to do a lot of damage, and it definitely did do damage to the army, but not to the economy. Will this Marine and a handful of Marauders be enough to clean them out? No. Forsaken realizes how weak these guys actually are, but those shields cannot be stopped. They are healing up these guys, and unfortunately Forsaken's going to have to call this a little bit of aggression a day. He needs to transition over to drops. Eventually he'll realize that this Nexus exists. Eventually he'll realize what he needs to do to get back into this, but all things considered, now he's got to be wondering, like, where's the money going? Like, he's now got plenty of infrastructure back at home to spend stuff, so Barca is going to be feeling absolutely fantastic. Second Colossus on the way also. There is a drop going off into the main. Handful of Marauders, handful of Marines, but they're going to have to work their way through the infrastructure before they can actually start doing damage to the economy. And yeah, this bulk of an army, 2 Immortals and a Colossus, even when they're deep in red, still very, very powerful. So what does Forsaken need to do? Well, a 3rd CC would be nice. I think he wants to do more damage with this timing attack. Look at that. Seeing the pylon, he knows exactly what's up. Finally finding that Nexus. He'll be able to draw out that Colossus, and really, if I was in Barca's condition, I would just sack this completely. I'd box my probes, move them down south. You're not going to be able to hold this back, and if you try to hold them, this is exactly what's going to happen. Your Colossus goes down immediately. Second round of Marauders are right on top of those Colossus. A Viking up in the air too is going to be bringing it down. He just needs to target it down. There it goes. 2 Colossus down. The 1 Immortal that was in the red also goes down. This Nexus is not dead, but that was an excellent engagement for Forsaken. He needs to keep that Colossus count down to a manageable number, and another Colossus is being started right now, but if you can keep your opponent down in that sub 4 Colossus count range, you're going to be feeling absolutely fantastic. And I feel like Forsaken knows that that was a major win for him. And you look at this, just the Congo line of units down on the minimap is just going to be a sign of constant aggression. And you know, we know that because Forsaken's not throwing down another CC on the high ground, so that he can transition over to his third. He wants to do more damage, and he's going to be capable of doing more damage. These High Templars don't have Psionic Storm just yet. Maybe an Archon going to be coming out of them. Regardless, a lot of Marauders make up a lot of meat to this army. So this right here is going to be in for a world of hurt whenever Forsaken decides to move up there. Let's look at the upgrades just for the time being. 1-1 against 1-1, stem combat shield, and everything else is pretty much done. Pulling the boys with those SCVs. This is absolutely going to be brutal. The Vikings landing to boot. Oh no, and the Colossus arriving just in the nick of time. Another fresh swell of SCVs. This is actually really going to be very costly to Forsaken if he can actually finish this off. He does have a healthy amount of Marauders still in this mix. I mean, the last thing that he wants to have happen is for Colossus to come out and only have a standing army of SCVs left alive. Probes also being pulled, and that's exactly why he targets down that robotics facility. Excellent decision making here from Forsaken. Standing on top of the infrastructure, he realizes that he's going to be able to stay mining with his handful of mules that can be coming out from his home base, and just using the meat shield of his SCVs. Look at the bank for Barca, man. He just kind of let his macro slip. His chrono boosting on the warp gates, but he just didn't have enough. Like, if you have that third nexus, maybe get out another robotics facility, maybe get out a handful more gateways. But hindsight is 2020, and it looks like Forsaken has at least equalized the harvester count, all things considered. He needs to take out that natural, but he's sitting on top of the infrastructure like that. He's just in a commanding situation, and Barca is going to have to rebuild his tech. That's exactly what he's doing over here by the third, getting a lot of gateway units out here just with the last handful of gateways that were still powered. And Forsaken's going to have to he's got to send out just a handful of units down into this natural to deny that mining. We can see how quickly that extra supply count begins to dwindle. Maybe send his SCVs back home. What are these guys doing? It looks like they're going to deny the retreat. Maybe thinking what I'm thinking, that those SCVs will eventually have to go home. Wow, that's a lot of supply that's bought up into probes right now, though. And I mean, I can't see how Forsaken can throw this right now. I definitely feel like he's in a commanding situation, and he knows about that nexus. He knows that that nexus exists. Another nexus going up on the right side of that expansion, but with just a handful of gateways finishing up right now. These zealots and stalkers being forced to engage, and with this fully upgraded, not fully upgraded, but very upgraded army. Dark Shrine going to be finishing in just a couple of seconds over here at the third, but no, that's not enough. It looks like Barca's going to have to tap out. He's just waiting for the time being, and it's perfectly understandable. This is a best of 7. Did every single one of the SCVs that he took with him die? Oh man, there's like a handful of SCVs left. That was really, really good instincts by Forsaken to realize that, you know, hey, this third exists. I need to do more damage to that third. He saw the third, he realized, and this is something that I missed in the heat of the moment, but what he did was he saw that third. He saw the third, he pushed up there, he did some damage, took out those Colossi, and he realized that, one, AoE is down. We don't have a lot of AoE that we have to deal with, so it's a fantastic opportunity for me to, you know, pull my SCVs, get in there, and actually start doing damage to the to the enemy. And by pulling those SCVs, he afforded himself a very hefty meat shield that can be very delicate to that AoE, but the AoE didn't exist anymore. So he knew he was only dealing with 1 or 2 Colossi, and it was excellent instincts for him to pull those SCVs, because as soon as he saw that third, he realized he was farther behind than he had previously thought. So he needed to equalize that game, and pulling those SCVs at that time was just a great play. It was an excellent ending to this best of 7 series. Congratulations to NoN Esports for taking the victory over Team Awesome Gamers. Team Awesome Gamers did an excellent showing, though, so no shame in that at all. Yeah, so congratulations to you for actually watching the best of 7. I hope you watched every single one of the videos and not skipped to the end like a scrub. But, you know, I can't blame you. I can't blame you. Spoilers are the best. You're the best. Thanks for watching. If you have a game you want me to cast, you can PM me here or on Reddit. One way or another, I will see you guys later. I am Ibigandscary. Bye.